I'm leaving here with something, okay? The world tried to drag me by my fucking edges and take shit from me. And I just want my shit back. So I'm unloading the clip. Hey there, and welcome to another episode of Pretty Intentional, the podcast for women who want to embrace beauty and lifestyle in a way that feels authentic, empowering, and fun. Each week, we cover topics like self image, self care, spirituality, personal development, health, and even how to navigate the professional world with grace and confidence. I'm your host, Candace Coleman. I'm a beauty and lifestyle content creator and retired freelance makeup artist who shows women how to do the most with the least in beauty and beyond. A business development professional, a breast cancer survivor, and a dog mom to Chloe Vienna. In this episode, I want to talk about intentional ways to prep and plan for the year that you want to have. That goes beyond just doing a vision board and writing down some goals and picking your word for the year. And depending on whenever you listen to this episode, I assure you that you're not too late in planning for the year that you want to have. While many people rush to have all their goals and plans laid out and in motion by January 1, I just want to remind you that it's still winter. Right now, it's still mid-February. And in nature, winter is when things die and hibernate. Now, the true new year is in spring. And think about it. When spring hits in March, the third month of the year, you still have 9 months. And by my calculations, that's still enough time to birth something, little girl math. And two things can be true at the same time. You can be strategic and intentional, yet give yourself grace to move at your own pace. I didn't really sit down and try to map out my year and get plans in place till maybe about mid-January. And if I wanted to, take more time, I would have taken it. I actually planned on giving myself until March before I even said, okay, let me start really planning and putting things in motion. But my gut just said, okay, it's time to do it now. And I'm glad I did. I'm going to share a little bit more about that later. So I asked some of my followers on Instagram, and I have been noticing some of what other people shared online about what their focused word and themes were for 2025. And it looks like the overwhelming majority has been intentional. And then they want to focus on, like discipline and things like that. Now, I too thought my word was intentional, but upon further review, it's really redemption. 2025 truly is the year I'm coming back and shooting all shots. Since January of 2019, my life has been a complete roller coaster. Many ups, many downs, and what many may consider a series of unfortunate events. I was laid off twice within 6 months. I had a miscarriage. I had to put my first dog down. Isolation during the panini press, need I say more? A breakup after an 11-year relationship, breast cancer. Then I lost my grandmother. And those are just the parts that I'm sharing. Now, there were definitely amazing moments and highlights along the way, but after all of that, it's all about redemption for me. Because I'm leaving here with something, okay? The world tried to drag me by my fucking edges and take shit from me, and I just want my shit back. So I'm unloading the clip. I have so many ideas and projects that I've been sitting on, and I'm just going to let them all fly. There's things that I want to achieve, goals that I have, and again, and I keep saying it, I didn't survive to not live. So I'm going to die empty. And in order for me to redeem the things and unleash all that I want to do, I know that I have to be tactical. And in being tactical and strategic, that's where the intentionality and being intentional comes in. So I know I have to have structure in place for me to execute on all of these things, and proper planning prevents poor performance. So I'm going to share some of the things that I have done and am doing to set me up for the best year yet. The first thing is purging. Anyone who knows me knows I love to purge. And we're going to just start getting rid of shit. And we're not talking about just physical things, people, places, like all the things. We are purging, right? We're not talking about just clothes and shoes. We need to lighten the load so we can move freely and live in our purpose and do exactly what it is that we need to do. And if we're talking in terms of, like unloading the clip, you want to use that analogy, okay, I need to clear the chamber and I need to clean the gun so I don't jam my Glock. Okay? I can't shoot if my block is jammed. So I need to clear the way and lighten the load. But to get more specific about purging, I do want you to go through your physical things. I do want you to go through your closet and get rid of things that no longer serve you. If it's ill-fitting, if it's the wrong size, too big or too small, you get on your Marie Kondo shit. If it doesn't spark joy and it's not in good shape, let that shit go. And there's things like if it is completely gone, trash it, upcycle it, cut that shit up, have your mama turn it into a quilt or something. My mom's into quilting right now, so you can do that if you want to make something keepsake. Give it to someone else who can use it, donate, do whatever you need to do, but the shit doesn't belong with you anymore. That shit has to go. I also want you to take inventory of like the furniture and the physical things in your home and the energy that it holds, and make any updates if you must, because there's no reason you should not be comfortable in your space. For example, I just moved back home to Maryland from Houston, and I am staying at one of my dad's properties, staying at my dad's house, and this is pretty much a childhood home. And it still looks and feels like childhood. These are the same couches from when I was like 9 years old. I'm 40, okay? The energy in here is just so stagnant and I just can't shake it. So, one of the things I have been focusing on is updating my physical space and the energy around me so I can do what I need to do. Lastly, I want you to go through all of your beauty products and I need you to discard the things that are expired. This is a practice you should be doing every 90 days anyway, but I want you to go through and look at your makeup, your hair care, your skin care. Really look at all of these products. And if you look at the packaging, if not on the box that it came in, the actual physical packaging, it'll have like, it looks like a little jar, or it might have like a little triangle like recycling, and it has a number inside. You most times will see a 3, a 6, a 9, a 12. You might see some 24. And that number lets you know how much time you have after you open it before it is expired. If you see something that says 3 to 6 months, that's probably your products that have more natural ingredients. Those are not going to last that long. They're only stable, but for so long. See, this is when I start getting like sciencey and nerdy about shit, because this shit just like tickles my brain. But the biggest thing is when people say like, oh, like, like it's not expired, like, oh, I still have some product left. When we're talking about products that expire, it's not necessarily that it's going to harm you, as far as like if I'm talking about like hair care or skin care, right? It's not necessarily that it will harm you, but we're talking about efficacy. And when we're talking about efficacy, it's about how effective the product is going to be. Now, if you are using maybe like a skincare product that has active ingredients and it has some acids or things like that, we're talking about from the minute you opened it and oxygen got inside of this product, now the clock starts. And if it says you have 6 months, that means after 6 months, because we've tested this shit's not going to work no more. So I don't want to hear that shit like, oh, this is the product. The product doesn't really work for me. No, girl, it works, but it worked 3 months ago and you're on month 7. Okay? It's definitely giving user error. So go through all of your things. This is also a really good practice because I know I'm doing it right now. I'm in a season of, I'm in a strict no buy. I can't buy any more things, especially beauty products. I am grateful and blessed being a beauty content creator. I do get a lot of gratis and press boxes and things sent to me. So I have a plethora of products. I am in a season of being resourceful with the resources that I have. So going through your products, you forget that you have things, set things aside. If there's things that you know you're probably not going to use or you have duplicates, again, gift them, donate them to a women's shelter, do what you do. But just take inventory of your products and see what you have so you can just be a better steward of the resources that you have. And then you can plan properly on what you may need to replace or things that you want to try that are new. So now that I've cleared space and I've made room, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to get intentional and I'm going to put pen to paper. If you're a Bible girly, Habakkuk 2:2, write the vision, make it plain. You a little soulful girly, get on your Erica Badu. Write it down on paper with a real pen and watch it get very real. Trust me, I did it and things are getting very real fast as fuck. You can use any format you choose, journal prompts, free flow writing, but for this exercise, I used Year Compass, which is a free online tool that helps you to reflect on the previous year and then plan for the upcoming year. I became familiar with Year Compass a couple years ago, and it's been such a wonderful exercise. I recommend giving yourself a couple of hours to complete it, or you can break it up in two sessions like I did this year. In the first session, I just, cleared some space, cleared my mind, played some music, fixed myself a drink, and I sat down and I did a reflection on the previous year. I closed out 2024. It gets really deep and really asks you to literally go month by month. What happened? Good, bad, ugly, indifferent. And you go through all of that. So I gave myself time for that. And then a couple of days later, then I went back and did the planning for the upcoming year and planning for 2025. It's been a really great exercise to then go back and look at the things you've written down and see how far you've come. I completed my exercise around mid-January, and here we are mid-February, and I went back to go take a look, and bitch, would you know it? I am already crossing things off. I am truly blown away. Now, if you listen to the first episode, I made mention about me turning 40 and being excited about being a 40 and up content creator because I feel like I'm finally in my zone and in my lane because, I don't fit some of the criteria that other content creators have. And one of them being because, home content is like really, really big. So it's like, I'm not the homeowner or anything like that. Well, bitch, it was on my list. And would you know, by February 1, your bitch just bought a condo. So we are moving with purpose and intentionality. I also put down that I wanted to be promoted at my job. And I even wrote down that, oh, this seems so crazy, but crazier things have happened because I want all of these things at once. And I feel like I probably can't get them all, but this is what I want. And I already have 2 of 4 of the 5 things that I said. So write that shit down. Put pen to paper and watch shit get real. Now, after I completed my exercise, I went and wrote a letter to myself. And I want to ask y'all, have you ever written a letter to your past, future, or present self? I've done this exercise a number of times over the years. I've done it where I've been at an event and you write it and you physically write one to yourself and they mail it to you. I've done it where I just write one to my younger self and then I keep it. And then this exercise, you write one to your future self and it's emailed to you. So I use this time futureme.org, and it allows you to write a letter to yourself and you can choose the date that it's returned to you. So I wrote my letter in January, and to be very honest, I already forgot what I wrote. So I'm excited to see how it applies to me next year, like when I go read it. And I honestly don't even know if I was talking to my future self and claiming the things that I had. I don't know, but we finna see next year. But I highly suggest writing a letter to yourself and seeing how you feel. So after I did that, got my letter to myself and all of that, the next thing I did was I set up all of my medical appointments. And that's pretty self-explanatory. If you're here, you're probably a woman of a certain age. I am a woman who's entered the 4th decade. I'm a cancer survivor and I have other things. So staying on top of my health is paramount. So I set up all of my appointments and set them up with your dream team. Do your internist, your OBGYN, your therapist, your optometrist, your dentist, and any other specialist that you may need to go see. I'm going to say this over and over again. Get a full blood panel. You need to be getting a full blood panel every year, looking for any changes, looking for something that may be coming up. Get every screening, schedule that follow-up that you've been avoiding, get that second opinion, see your dermatologist if you have one, and schedule an appointment with your esthetician as well, and get a facial. We're just going to make sure that we are doing all the things that inside and out we are ready to sustain the year that we're going to have. The last thing that I did is I used AI to develop daily goals and habits. So I read this peer review article, aka I was watching a video on TikTok. And it was this woman who was on TikTok and she said that she used ChatGPT to get a daily schedule and routine for herself based upon her birth chart. I know some of you are like, girl, what the fuck are you talking about? Yes, exactly what I said. Now, while I believe in automation, efficiency, and most importantly, the stars, I was still skeptical. I'm generally a skeptic. So I need to research things and I need to put shit to the test to be like, yeah, because I'm going to be the first one to call cap. So, and I had never ever used ChatGPT before, but I said, okay, this is going to be the time that I use it. So I did. And bitch, let me tell you something. After I did it, I was completely gagged by the recommendations that it gave me because I'm very in tune with myself. I know when I'm in alignment. I know when I'm not. I know when my days feel productive. I know the routines and cadences that I have and things that work for me. So I said, okay, I'm doing this because I know who I am and I'm very comfortable with myself, my routine. So I was like, let me see what it says. Bitch, gagged. It was so on point. It breaks down your day in segments and tells you what to focus on and how to intuitively go about your day. So here's the exact prompt that I used. Create an ideal daily schedule, mantras, career goals, and love goals for a woman with, and then you enter in your chart. So I did sun, moon, rising, Venus, and Mercury. Definitely always going to cover the big three, your sun, moon, your rising. Venus, because that's love. And then I do Mercury, because that's like how you work and how you're tactical and you're strategic. And it comes back with, here's a holistic daily schedule, mantras, career goals, and love goals for a woman with Libra sun, Scorpio moon, Sag rising, Scorpio Venus, and Virgo Mercury. Now, if you're being nosy and trying to figure me out by my chart, go right on ahead. But it broke down my day and gave me a daily schedule, and it broke it down into like morning, mid morning, lunch, afternoon, evening, and nighttime, and then late night routines, and gives me mantras for the day. So like just an example of like something that it says. So for like morning, it says 6:30 to 8 a.m. First of all, I was gagged because my time I get up is 6:30, but I have a slow start to my day. And this says, wake up and meditate. Start the day with a short meditation focusing on balance, which would tickle my Libra sun, and emotional clarity, which is my Scorpio moon. And you know me, I get up and I do my daily devotionals. Mantra, I am aligned with my purpose and my emotions are my strength. Hello, that's me. It says do some journaling. Use Virgo Mercury's clarity of mind for a few minutes of intention setting. Write down your goals for the day. That is so me. It goes into even mid-morning, 8:30 to 11:30. Focus work, tackle your important tasks. And it's just networking and collaboration. This is literally how I run my day. So I said, okay, I think this is completely spot on. So if you are looking for ways to hone in on your daily habits and things like that, just to align with your goals, I would say give it a shot if you're a Chat GPT girly. And I do just want to say, just a disclaimer. Yes, after using ChatGPT for the first time, yes, I did learn about the environmental impacts of ChatGPT. I'm not forcing anyone to use it. Tinfoil hat people, tree hugger people, I'm here for everybody. But if that is something that you want to use, it is something that is available to you. Now, these things that I've shared on how I'm planning to have the best year yet is not an exhaustive list, but I think it's a pretty good place to start and set up yourself for success so you can have the most intentional year yet. If there's something that you do that keeps you on track and motivated, I would love to hear about it. Send me a DM on Instagram at Pretty Intentional and let me know. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Pretty Intentional. Be sure to follow the podcast and listen wherever you listen to your podcast. Please rate and leave a comment. Remember, being intentional isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up for yourself and your journey. Until next time, stay true to yourself, live with purpose, and as always, keep it pretty intentional.